What is going on, guys? I'm almost a bunch here back with another top 10 video today. Today on my series of videos where I'm going to look at my favorite 5 episodes from certain eras of the show. Which allows when I top on my favorite episodes of 1 to 8. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. And now we're talk about seasons 9 through 15. Vanuatu, Palau, Guatemala, Exile Island, Cook Islands, Fiji, and China. And this definitely was not easy to be honestly, because there were definitely a lot of great episodes on sale, a lot of stuff. So I hope you all enjoyed this video again. Let me know your thoughts on your favorite episodes down below in the comments. All that being said, let's get to the video. Let's get to the top 10. Coming in at number 10. On my favorite episodes from 2015, we have It All Could Backfire. Episode 13 from Swire Palau. Spoiler alert, this isn't going to be the first Palau episode you'll see on this list, because spoiler alert, this episode and the finale and the episode 4 are going to be on this list. I don't know if I probably should say that now, honestly, but it is truly a great, it probably has a great stretch episodes. Like, me, it is, maybe in a good season, obviously, even if I'll take the tribe, losing so many times, does kind of loses luster when you deal with the fact that we got a lot of disaster tribes in New Era. I feel like that has lost its luster, honestly. I feel like it got much better seasons beyond that. But the final still is I find good, especially if you're watching it. But we all agree that the final 6, final 5 were definitely some of the best episodes of the season. And me, episode 13 is another great one, obviously. We'll obviously in the previous episode, basically Greg got blindsided, and then this one basically kind of see the start of Ian's downfall in this season. Well, kind of hinted at the previous episodes. We definitely do see moments where Ian does kind of still going through his emotional arc about betraying his allies and then really feeling guilty and at least still obviously a moment I'll top on when we get to it. This episode obviously features one of the worst war cancers. Obviously, Ian wins the war, and in spite of the fact that he promised Keely he was going to take him, he based on picking Tom, and even Tom was like, "What? I'm sorry, what?" Which leads to a fight between her and Kate, obviously, which is definitely a very emotional fight, obviously. And we get some fun to me each other as well. Tom wins again, and then Karen basically finally gets voted out. Despite her being an obvious girl, she ends up getting voted out this episode. And it's just a very consistent fun episode with some really nice emotional drama, which ends up putting it on this list. A nail at number 9. You have the only episode from Fiji Matters. Again, despite Fiji not being a good season, honestly, I feel like most of the bad episodes of that season are really more towards the pre-merge, obviously, because they'll have nothing, obviously. So I think most of the bad episodes are really from that portion, honestly. Well, the book was actually pretty funny and entertaining, especially watching it. I definitely debate. There's definitely comments of future to be like also debate between obviously the one where basically dreams and basically had that Corey deal, obviously. But I'm actually one with episode 4 that. I had to course the episode. And of course, it's Eternal, which is episode 10. Again, basically episode 10. For this episode, basically the Gar Blindside, obviously, which when we actually get an actual idol play this episode, this also when the idol was actually more just played before the votes are read. A red, which obviously makes the idol so much more less OP, obviously. Obviously, and then we knew that Alex Drew and Alex Mukio were probably going to be the target, especially Yame winning immunity. And then Stacy of all people basically said, hey, that guy looks like a good playing idol, why always vote him? Which obviously has come like a simple strategy in Survivor. Which obviously has now become like a staple in Survivor for many years, obviously. But this is when the first time they actually was like, hey, if we think we're voting Aspika, let's vote Agoda, as he's probably the least likely person that we expect to vote for. And of course, Agoda is shocked, basically going, he's smiling, and then everyone's facing dropping down at basically after he got the first vote. That's so iconic. Even when I watched the first time, I was like, oh my god, it's so entertaining. And that's have alone put this episode on this list. And now at number 8, we get to the first episode of Survivor Exile Island to make this list. And that is Medical Emergency. Again, similar to Wild, this is not going to be the only episode you'll see on Survivor him on this list. So I told you how irritating some of the episodes are, obviously, and even when they shouldn't be, obviously, because after this being the episode, obviously, Bruce basically gets factory from the game. And you think it wouldn't be, it's weird that they're going to make it be hilarious, obviously, that's just the chaoticness of the Kasaya tribe. Again, I totally forgot how chaotic this tribe is until I rewatched the season. And so many entertaining moments, so many crazy shenanigans came from this tribe. And, I mean, it still gives a fun buzz, obviously, Suri actually winning a challenge and all that stuff, and gives nice dynamics, Shay and Courtney really going at each other, obviously, and saying some interesting things this episode. And then we get and then we get Bruce. Unfortunately, was doing some pain and couldn't go to the bathroom for days, and because of that, he basically ended up being a backstreet from the game. It's really jobs I like this obviously. Yeah, the way they end up showing us, what I'm saying, of course, having Shane Courtney in the background makes it pretty hilarious, but it really shouldn't be. And that aspect alone is what put this episode on the list, obviously. Again, not the only excellent episode you'll see on this list, but again, it's just an incredibly entertaining episode. Despite the fact they really shouldn't be. And now we get to an episode from Spine Palau at number 7, and that's basically the finale, The Ultimate Shock. Now, I definitely debate this with the other episode, which spoiler you will see on this list, but it is still one of the best finales in it. This is still like one of the best finales in the entire show, in my opinion. As a pretty much a culmination of basically what happened. Like I mentioned, Ian basically dealing with the struggle of betraying his closest allies, and Katie and Ian and Tom. Tom winning his meeting once again. Going Tom's like, hey, I was thinking of yeah, we'll be super hard, which all the girls not be upset, obviously, and then we get and we get like a tie final trial council with like the first true Final Four final mission challenge, obviously, which wasn't the most eventful in the world, obviously. It was still exciting to see this happen for the first time, obviously. And then we get, of course, the one person up on this list, the Fire Meteor Challenge. Yeah, it was obvious that whoever was going to win between Tom and was going to win the game, obviously. Because who was going to want Katie to win, obviously. Like, there's really no suspense in that, obviously. But the challenge goes on for almost 12 hours. Like, I don't think we're ever going to see a challenge this long ever again. It's insane they went up for that long. And after so long, Ian was like, hey, man, I'm sorry what happened. I'll drop if you vote me out. Stuff. And he did after 12 hours, and then we get to find the shortest time ever with Tom and Ian. And again, Lisa's Tom went by 6-1 vote, because obviously. So what that aspect prices for being like a little bit high, honestly, it's still an incredible finale. And now we go from one finale to another at number 6, and that's one end the finale of Survivor Vanuatu 2, Spirits in the Final Four. Again, Vanuatu 2, I feel like this season, I feel like a lot of us have gotten to appreciate it more as time goes on. Because remember, this season actually was panned when it came out. This season was received negatively, most because it was season after All Stars, obviously, and like, really, this is what it got, honestly. But Vanuatu 2 season, I feel like Spidey is kind of lacking pretty much, and lacking pretty much characters. It's, honestly, it continues to grow on me the more I think about it, especially after rewatching the actual season. That's one I definitely do enjoy rewatching. Obviously, it's one of the also another episode that Pickle that we will see high up on this list. But finale itself was great, of course, it being the fact that Chris Daughtry, by being the last man standing, somehow ends up winning this season. Like, I always loved Chris Daughtry, obviously, but my recent rewatch of this season really did make me appreciate so much his game so much more. Well, the fact he kind of brought the position onto himself, honestly, by John Kane, the pretty much, obviously. He did prove that he was able to still get out onto a position. And the fact that obviously, he was able to get the final situation, which I'm going to talk about, he's pretty impressive, obviously. The fact he was able to, even if he did win the Final 5, he basically was the swing vote. And he ends up winning the next 2 years, obviously, the Final 4 having one of the biggest celebrations ever. Tried to vote out Eliza, and he was just very smirky and douchey about it. And then winning the Final Beauty, voting out Scout, and giving the most, bullshit Final Outcast films ever, basically, where he just basically just gives everyone what they wanted to hear. He really convinces Twilight to basically just be argumentative, obviously, and not back down, which goes to his benefit, obviously. Chris probably gets one of the best Final Trap performances of all time. One that obviously is memorable for a good reason, because obviously he just knows what the jury wants, he knows what they want to hear, and all that stuff, and that's kind of what happens. And he ends up winning in a 5-2 vote, having some pretty fun responses, especially with Eliza and Julie and the players and everything, and it's pretty fun and entertaining to watch. And again, he ends up winning in a 5-2 vote. Like, it's pretty impressive that we can also get a guy that was close to being the first one voted out of his tribe, but barely to 100 pounds being, go on to win the game. I mean, they were 12 season, that is pretty impressive. And now we go for that spot episode I mentioned of Gorby on the list in the top 5, and that is Will Make You Pay. Basically, the best of the 4 episodes, obviously, and it definitely was a debate, obviously, because I think all 3 episodes were great. But it's one just generally entertaining, obviously, because then, obviously, Greg ends up becoming the big threat, obviously, and he ends up making a terrible decision on the bitches on Jen, but also Key for the award as well, leaving the 2 guys in Canada, obviously. And Tom's like, hey, we'll get you. It's also just great that, oh yeah, I'm probably fucked. And that's kind of what happens. And we go, wow, back and forth to Cam and with Tom and Ian, obviously, trying to fight with Greg and telling the last minutes, which leads to a lot of great back and forth. We love one visit that was pretty entertaining. While leading up to a pretty fun and epic blindside where Greg gets voted out by 4-2 votes. And just the whole leading up to blindside, all the entertainment that goes along that, obviously, when Tom and Ian being Tom and Ian, and even with the fun moments for like Karen, Jen, and everyone else on the cast as well, along with the fun Lost One visit as well, that fun Tribal Council as well, and the fun reactions make for an incredibly entertaining episode that is worthy of being in the top 5. And now we go to a Survivor Panama episode, and number 4, and that is For God's Sake, which is episode 5 of Survivor Panama. Again, an endlessly entertaining episode. This is the episode basically showcases the dysfunction of the Kasaya tribe. Obviously, Elmina can go, I totally realize how kind of boring the tribe actually was on through you watching this season. But Kasaya makes it so entertaining. Like with Shane and Courtney, Bruce, and all the different personalities just clashing and everything, and just hilarious. I think it's up to us to basically like Bruce and Bobby and like drinking wine, getting drunk in our house, which is one of the most entertaining scenes in Survivor history. And I guess it's just fun moments, obviously, in general. And we get like a crazy vote on as well, being a 3-2-1-1 vote. Bobby and Alex vote for Bruce. Bruce votes for Courtney. Shane just throws a random vote on Alex because he just want to choose any sides. And then we get some. As far as Bobby vote out, unfortunately, because obviously Bobby was one of the most irritating pretty much characters ever. So it's kind of fortunate he has getting voted out during this portion, honestly. But he still makes his episode so entertaining, honestly. And unfortunately, we're never going to see him return after this, honestly. But again, probably one of the most entertaining episodes in entire history. Like, just pure fun and crazy chaoticness all the way through. But in the best possible way. And not surprisingly, when looking into this, I'm surprised I only have one China episode in here, because obviously China is one of my favorite China seasons. I do think it's a consistently entertaining season. But I'm actually surprised there's only like one episode to actually make the actual top 10, obviously. And I think the episode you guys probably expect to make the list, obviously, and that is Ready to Bite the Apple. Basically, of course, being the episode based on James Guzman out to on this podcast, obviously. Do you really need to say any more for that, honestly? Because I think it's still another entertaining episode. We get some fun moments, some really heartwarming moments, especially with Denise and PG and stuff. Back and forth with all the players. Everyone leading up to the James Blindside was like, James, play your idol. James, play your idol. James, play your idol. Which, in that aspect, was the pure frustration that James had 2 idols and didn't play one during the final 7? It's pure insanity. I don't even mention about it, like, Survivor's stuck on that enough, honestly, and stuck on James enough on that, obviously, and I don't want to do that. But that makes this episode as high up as it is. And now, at number 2, we get to the last Survivor Panama episodes listed. Being an episode that I'm pretty sure you guys probably expect to make it high on this list, obviously, and that is Pirelli's Crumble. Pirelli's Scramble. Sorry, I misread that wrong, obviously, but Pirelli's Scramble, which is episode 12 of season 12. This was being the episode basically marks Suri as an all-time great player. Like, Suri was definitely already an incredible player, an incredible contestant from this season. Obviously, I mean, she was someone that was kind of free, leaves the first episode and then become a great social and power player, obviously. But this is the moment that cements her as an all-time great. This is the one that's meant Suri as an all-time great show. The one she can really deliver, and she does, obviously, considering that she's one of the people like, hey, Florian's obviously going to draft today because she's good and not going to win. Let's get rid of her. And again, the lead up to that blindside is just incredible. Courtney being Courtney, Shane being Shane, having so many little moments that just so hilarious. Again, the chaos of the Kasaya tribe is just incredible. here. Get some fun challenge moments as well, some fun back and forth, and all leads to that epic 3-2-1 finale, though, according to gets voted out. And again, the fact that even happened is pretty insane. Again, that alone puts this episode in the top tier. Not number one, but it's still an entertaining episode and an excellent fun off. Again, a showcase to why Suri is one of the best. And from this, I'm praying to God she wins 550. I'm serious. I'm praying to God she wins 550. Please, 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 please. Now, before we do get to my number one favorite episode this era, let's get into the honorable mentions. The episodes I still enjoyed, just did not make the actual list. And those honorable mentions are High School Friend Contest, Episode 8 of Survivor China. Just an episode filled with a lot of fun character moments and a fun blindside. Blackmail or Betrayal from Survivor Fiji. Basically, the after the whole guard blindside and a lot of fun moments throughout. Mutiny, episode 9 of Fork Islands, and Playing Voodoo for episode 13, episode 6. That's it. So Mutiny, season 13, episode 9, Playing Voodoo, season 13, episode 6, and Why Don't You Trust Me, season 13, episode again. It's not come out and actually make this, obviously. In general, all these are really good episodes in general. Of course, like Why Don't You Trust Me being the one, the main blindside, and you'll join Johnson the Idol. Playing Voodoo being, the start where Cowboy, Fun Character season made the strategy that's become evident in Inspired strategy after this season, and Mutiny, basically just Jonathan Candace Mutiny. And I have a lot of films that go beyond that. Then you got Praise for Immunity from Survivor Guatemala, and actually the only Survivor Guatemala episode actually make the top 10, make it the top 10, honestly. It's really the one episode that I really thought eligible, I do join Guatemala. But it's still a great episode, honestly, with a great World 1 visit, great auction, great challenge, and a great job blindside, with him having some very fun lines to say after his exits. And then we have episode 12 and 13 from Survivor Final Watu, basically the Amy and Julie blindsides. And then lastly, Love is in the Air, episode 5, basically the Screw Tribe Swap episode, and the If I Want to See If I Can Make a Deal episode from the Friday Future. Makes that infamous car deal, obviously, and we get the first I play Yaman, honestly. I never really debate between this and the episode 5 Future debate those, obviously, and there was definitely a thin margin, but I am going the latter, but this is still a great episode, and it probably will be number 11. But now, number 1, my favorite episode from seasons 9 to 15 is Surprise! And surprise again, episode 11 of season 9. I think that basically, flipped the script on the cast all around. This is the one that basically just flipped the script on the season. And obviously, Chris was basically the last man standing after his balance round got voted out. And again, he was the last man standing. The episode basically starts with a loved ones challenge. Everybody gets there and trying videos with their loved ones, and it's very sweet moments. Again, I might do a video on loved one visit at some point down the road, but I always love these visits. It sucks that they're not seen on the random era, unfortunately. We probably might get 1 in 50, honestly, from what we were told. Again, I filmed this when it's found 10 at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. So, but we definitely get a fun family visit here. Everyone interact, they get a fun question episode, and then basically, last time's the winning gets to meet up with her mom, and everyone gets to interact with her mom, obviously, and Chris, really, I'll be home soon thinking he's gonna go home, doesn't win immunity. Then we get a fun challenge, basically, everyone basically gets to compete with their loved ones, help them, and Chris knows that he loses. He's a goner, no matter what. And yeah, freaking Amy the Ice Queen ends up winning immunity, so Chris is like, I'm done, I'm freaking done, but seeing how emotional he was with that, he decided to actually spare him and vote out Liza. And Chris basically used that to his advantage. Obviously, was able to get freaking Twilight and Liza, who freaking hated each other from just most of the season, to actually work together. And with them and Skin, obviously, they decided to basically all team up and give it and basically blindside Leah in that epic 4-3 votes. I didn't realize how great of a blindside actually was. I want to say until I watched Vanna One a couple years ago. I'm like, oh yeah, this is incredible. Yes, that alone puts this episode at number 1. It's entertaining, it's hilarious, it's emotional, all the perfect harmonies of a Great Spider episode. Again, I totally forget how great an episode this is, honestly, until I look back on it. But yeah, this is one of the best episodes I've ever watched. You brought up to the best episode of this portion of Survivor. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my top 10 best episodes from seasons 9 to 15. Let me know in the comment section what are your favorite episodes from this portion of Survivor, which episodes I show the pro list, obviously. I don't love no down in the comment section, obviously. You can check out my previous video where I talk about season 1 through 8. Next one's going to be 16 through 20, so stay tuned for that. I am Civil World from Civil Productions. I will see you guys next time, and as always, stay love, but the end is a sprinkle of positivity coming your way. Peace.